find a seat. Find a seat. Silas, sit down. Welcome back, Silas. Now sit down. No, you all can't sit next to Silas. I'm sorry. It's not possible. Everybody can't sit next to Silas. Don't worry. After service, there'll be plenty of Silas to go around. Don't worry. There's a lot less hair on Silas, but there's plenty of Silas, so don't you worry. Somebody get that guy a chair over there. He looks lonely. All right. Hey, have a seat. Are you guys ready? You guys ready? We are. We're ready. We are going to talk about beware of the flying monkeys. So, beware of the flying monkeys. So tonight, I'm going to talk about Dorothy. Does everybody know who Dorothy is? Who here has seen The Wizard of Oz? Raise your hand. Hannah Halstead has actually seen a movie I am talking about. It is a miracle. It is a miracle. Usually only Princess Diaries is the only movie she's seen, but tonight, this is her favorite part. So, don't you worry, this will be a message that Hannah will understand. Alright, so, tonight we're going to be talking about Beware the Flying Monkeys, and I'll be talking about Dorothy. And if you've seen The Wizard of Oz, one of the things you'll learn is that Dorothy figures out she needs friends to get through her adventure. And tonight we're going to talk about searching for friendships. Because one thing I've found in my life, and it's been a long life so far, is that you definitely need friends to get through life. So, let's talk about friendships. Let's talk about friendships. Raise your hand. Now, listen to the whole question before you raise your hand. Raise your hand if you have one person you consider your best friend. Only one person. Not like, I see some of you on Facebook and Twitter talking about your best friend. It's like 37 people on the list. I'm talking one person, and if I came up to you and said, who is your best friend, you would always name that same person. You guys, okay, so, who here has more than one best friend? Let me see the other group of hands. All right. I think that's cool. I think that's very cool. So let's talk about the term best friend, okay? Listen up, guys. Listen. So usually when we talk about a best friend, that's usually kind of a ranking system, right? Like I consider this friend the best out of all my friends. So I have this group of friends, but this one person kind of rises above that group of friends. And so tonight though, I want to talk about not just that best friend that's kind of rises above your group of friends, but probably the friend that's best for you. Which is kind of a different way to kind of think of your friends as which of my friends is the best for me. So that's definitely a little bit different. So in high school, my sophomore, junior, and senior year, I had a best friend. Isn't that cute? So my best friend's name was John Bryant. John Bryant and I were absolutely best friends for a long time. Our high school was like 20 miles from our house, I think, at least 20 miles. So we had to commute to high school every day. So we met every single morning, and we'd carpool and take turns driving to try and save on gas, even though gas back then was like 99 cents a gallon. But even then, we would carpool. So we started our day together every morning at like 6:50 in the morning, and we would drive to school together. And then after school, we would ride home together. And then we actually worked together at a grocery store, so I would see him at night while we were baggers at a grocery store and on the weekends. And so John and I were together all the time. And it wasn't one of those things like, where I just thought he was my best friend and, I kind of clung to him or anything. We were legitimately best friends. And if anybody asked, hey John, who's your best friend? Everybody knew it was Brandon. And if anybody asked me, that everybody knew it was John. It was pretty obvious that we were best friends. Kind of like Josh and Jared, right? I mean, you guys kind of assume that, they're totally best friends. So it was kind of like that for us. But one of the things, as I kind of look back, is that John and I were best friends, but John may not have been the best friend for me in high school. Has anybody had one of those friends that maybe they're not the best friend for them, right? And so what I found out is that there was a lot of things that I did with John that I probably wouldn't have done without John. So So, and most of these weren't good things, right? They were, stealing and cussing, and then, we did some drinking, underage drinking, which eventually led to smoking weed, stuff like that. And so, partying every weekend. So stuff like that was all stuff that I did with John. And so when I look back now at high school, every big mistake I made in high school, there was John next to me, right? Every mistake I can think back of, every big thing that happened to me that was bad, there was John right by my side. And so I'm not trying to blame John for everything that I did when I was younger, because it's not like he was forcing me to do any of those things. But he definitely wasn't trying to stop me, right? He wasn't trying to help me make good decisions. He was definitely, encouraging the wrong way. So, although John was my best friend, and I'm still in communication with John thanks to things like Facebook, he definitely wasn't the best friend for me in high school and didn't help me make good decisions. So, tonight, as we're talking about searching for friendships, let's talk about what friendships really look like. So, the first point on your outline is everyone needs friends. Everyone needs friends. And so there's a Bible verse there that says, Ecclesiastes 4:9-12, it says, 2 people are better off than one, for they can help each other succeed. If one person falls, the other can reach out and help, but someone who falls alone is in real trouble. Likewise, 2 people lying close together can keep each other warm. Oh, isn't that nice? But how can one be warm alone? A person standing alone can be attacked and defeated, but 2 can stand back to back and conquer. So what this is really about is that you need friends. You were not put on earth to kind of try to do this alone. And I know some people in this room are kind of the loner type, and you try to act all macho that you're alone and you're happy with that. But you really need friends in life to help get you through things. So one of the things I see is that in life, people try to pretend that life is easy. Is life easy? No. It's very hard. And actually, so far it's been easy for you guys because you're only in high school probably. It only gets harder. So life is not easy. And so we try to go through life a lot of times acting like nothing's wrong, like we got it all together, like, we have no problems. And really, that's kind of the message that society gives you, is that you should, never act like there's a problem. If maybe you're depressed, don't worry, just take a pill for that. That'll fix your depression. You don't need to worry about being depressed or anything like that. Just take a pill, or read this book and everything will be fine. But really, what it comes down to is needing somebody to go through life with. And so, what I want to talk tonight about is trying to seek out a godly friendship with somebody that will help you go through life and be that person you need during those tough times and those good times. But it's really about having that right friendship. So, point number 2 on your outline says, real friends will tell you no. Real friends will tell you no. So, this is kind of the tricky part. You kind of need a friend that's not afraid to hurt your feelings, right? So I know some of you probably, are very good at hurting your friends' feelings, right? But probably not in a bad way. I don't want you, cutting people down or anything. But you need somebody that's going to be able to, help you make good decisions and tell you when you're making bad decisions. And so that person's got to, you have to build that relationship. And so a few weeks ago, we really talked about building a relationship with somebody so you can speak into their life eventually. And that's really what this friendship is about, is that you have to have a friendship with somebody that you can then speak into their life, and they can speak into your life and tell you when you're doing something you shouldn't be doing, or you're heading down a path that doesn't look good, or you're hanging out with the wrong crowd, or something like that. So you need that person in your life that will tell you no, for sure. And so you just need a friend that, will call you out, and when they call you out, you'll accept that. You're okay with being called out by that person because you have that relationship. So if I'm walking around depressed all the time, I need a friend that's going to call me out and like, dude, why are you acting all depressed? Why is every Facebook post about how sad you are? Somebody's going to call my bluff on some stuff and maybe, get my junk a little bit. And so, maybe for some girls here, you need a friend that's going to come up to you and go, dude, that is one slutty outfit. You should not wear that. Right? You know, you probably need a friend like that. You probably need a friend like that, some of you. So, you know, that's probably a good friend to have, right? Somebody that'll help you make a good decision. Okay, I didn't say start calling people out and pointing at people. Come on now. So I'm just saying, that's the type of friend you need though, right? Somebody that will help you make good decisions or at least point out when you're making bad ones. So that's very important. And so Proverbs 27:17 says, this is a very famous verse, iron sharpens iron as one man sharpens another. So that's really just about somebody being there and helping guide you and keep you on the right path, and you need that friendship out there to do that. So the next point on our outline, number 3, you guys like how we're flying through this? We're going to be done in no time. True friends build you up. True friends build you up. And as far as I'm concerned, this really goes on past friendships and really goes into relationships with, you know, boyfriends and girlfriends and husbands and wives eventually, and all that is you really need somebody, you know, that's going to help build you up. And it drives me absolutely insane when I see, you know, teenagers or even adults in relationships with somebody, and that one person's just tearing the other person down all the time, and that one person doesn't have any confidence because their partner is always just tearing them down, telling them how worthless they are and all that. I mean, that is such a coward move by that dominant person to do that to somebody. And so, you know, in life, as you're seeking out friendships and looking for good friendships that are going to maybe be a relationship also, you need to make sure you have somebody that's building you up, not somebody that's always tearing you down. And so, you know, that's somebody that's going to help you step out. So if you're thinking about, you know, maybe trying out for the praise team, that's going to be that friend of yours that goes, dude, you could totally do that. I've heard you sing. You could totally do that. You know, that'd be really good for you and help build you up a little bit when you need that little bit of push, right? That's that friend you need that'll give you that gentle nudge when you need it to help build your confidence. Not somebody who's like, dude, you should not do that. You are terrible, man. Just because maybe they're jealous or they don't want it to interfere with, you know, your friend time or anything like that. So, you know, look for those relationships with somebody that builds you up. And make sure they're holding you up in a positive way, right? You need to make sure it's a positive way that they're building you up. And what I mean by that is, you know, my buddy John in high school, he spent lots of time building me up by going like, Brandon, dude, you can totally drink another shot of tequila. You can totally handle it. That's probably not the type of encouragement you need. That's a negative encouragement, right? So, you know, you want to make sure they're building you up in a positive way, not building you up to do something stupid, right? You don't need a friend going, dude, you should totally jump off the bridge. That would be awesome. That is probably not a good friend. They're encouraging you to do the wrong thing. So make sure you're getting built up in a positive way. And so, you know, when also building up is little things, right? So I know, how many people here love to get that awesome either good night or good morning text from a friend that just kind of makes your day, right? I know you guys do because I see you guys always talk, oh, I got the cutest good morning text, oh, or whatever. So that's what I'm talking about. Just simple little things like that a friend will just encourage you or kind of make your day, tell you how nice you look today. What, you know, you did a great job at church. Whatever it is, you need that friend that's going to build you up and be that person for you. So in Proverbs 13:20 it says, whoever walks with the wise becomes wise, but the companion of fools will suffer harm. The companion of fools will suffer harm. And that one's kind of a one that stings, because what that's really saying is that if you hang out with a bunch of foolish people, you become a foolish person, right? If you hang out with somebody that's wise and making good decisions, you'll kind of become a wise person. There's this thought process out there that talks about adults as they get older, that you naturally kind of gravitate to people that make about the same type of money as you do. For some reason, that seems to be a thing where you kind of gravitate to people that make about the same money as you do. And the smart people, what they try to do is find people that make more money than they do and try and build themselves to that level, right? So if you go hang out with poor people all the time, eventually you're going to be a poor people. right? And so, there's no way to get out of that if that's what you do. So it's kind of the same thing with, hanging out with wise or foolish people. Make sure you're hanging out with the right people that are going to be the right influence on you. And then there's also a super popular verse that I'm sure most of you have heard. You should remember it for sure. 1 Corinthians 15:33 says, "Do not be deceived. Bad company corrupts good character." Bad company corrupts good character. Or bad company ruins good morals is another translation. So that is really about, as good as you try to be, if you're trying to be awesome and every Sunday night you are here worshiping and you are doing a great job, but you are hanging out with ungodly people the rest of the week, it's going to be really hard for you to maintain that good level if you're hanging out with the wrong people all week and only trying to be a good person here on Sunday night. So bad company can definitely corrupt good character. Bad company ruins good morals. And we've all seen this happen, right? How many people here know a good friend that maybe they were a friend, when they were younger or something, and they started hanging out with the wrong crowd? Anybody lost a friend to the wrong crowd? Man, there's a lot of wrong crowds out there, right? I mean, it seems like everybody's lost a friend to the wrong crowd. It's like all of a sudden you just see them kind of drifting away. You're like, no, don't go over there, don't go over. It's like the dark side of the force, right? It's like, oh, you can't be my father, whatever it is. It's like, and so for some reason, it's like all of a sudden they just keep going, and all of a sudden, bam! They're one of those people now that are inside that kind of bad group of people. And it happens so quick sometimes that they don't realize that they've kind of been sucked into it. So be careful about bad company ruining good character. So this goes the other way too. So this whole night I've been talking about, finding a good friend that can be all these things for you. And when I say all that, I also say the fact that you need to be that friend to somebody. You need to be that friend that's going to build somebody up. That you need to help guide somebody down that wrong path, away from that wrong path, and make sure that they don't make bad decisions. You need to be that person for somebody else. So while you're seeking that person in your life, you need to make sure you're that person to somebody else. And that can be hard. It can be real difficult to make sure you're always that good influence, good friend, that's correcting and helping somebody along the way. So make sure that you focus on being that good friend for somebody else, just like you're looking for that good friend. And our final point tonight, point number 4, and we couldn't be in church unless we do this point, good friendships start with Jesus. Because one thing I've learned is in every message, one of the points is going to be Jesus. That's usually one of the answers. It is actually the answer. It doesn't matter what the question is. It's Jesus. I think, Chesney said, in kids' church, it's always Jesus, right? Who built the ark? Jesus. Who split the Red Sea? Jesus. It doesn't matter for little kids. They just keep saying Jesus. So tonight, for point number 4, good friendships start with Jesus. And I say that because having God in your life and having God in the middle of your friendships, that's the most important part to having a good friendship. If you don't have a good relationship with Jesus, it's going to be hard for you to keep and have godly friends in your life. And it's going to be impossible for you to be a godly friend to somebody if you don't have Jesus in your heart. So in order for you to steer people in the right direction and be able to help guide people and iron sharpens iron, you have to have that relationship first with Jesus. And your relationship with Jesus is really what all other friendships should be modeled after. Because that's really what all friendships should really look like. Because Jesus isn't going to steer you down the wrong path. He isn't going to encourage you to go sin. He's going to tell you no when you need to hear it. And sometimes you ignore that no, but it's definitely in there. It's saying no, but you try to tune it out and go. He's definitely going to tell you no when you need to hear it. He's going to love you even when you make mistakes, right? We all want a friend that's going to love us even when we make mistakes. And isn't that what everybody's looking for in a relationship and a friendship? Is all those things? So if you already have a relationship with Jesus, are you modeling your friendship with your friends after that relationship? Are you trying to be that person that speaks into their life and loves them even through mistakes and just encourages them and is always there for them? That's the type of friend you need to be. And if you don't have a relationship with Jesus already, you probably need to think about starting one. Because it's going to be hard for you to always find that good friend and have those friends in your life if you don't have anything to model it after. It is so easy to start this relationship with Jesus. And it's as simple as tonight when we get ready to say the prayer, you know, you can say something real simple to yourself, you know, while your head's bowed, and just say something as simple as, Jesus, I ask you to come into my life. I need you as a friend and be the Lord of my life. And because I need to know what a best friend really is. Right? And that's what that relationship is you're just asking Jesus into your life so that you can start that best friend relationship with Him. So, one final thought tonight. I don't have a best friend like I did when I was younger.
I'll be your best friend.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm always looking for, I'm taking applications actually. So, but I do have several good friends in my life now that I choose because they're the best for me. I try to choose people that are to be my friends that I know are going to be the right people in my life. And actually, a lot of those people are actually in this room tonight. The people that I serve with here at U-Staff are a lot of those people that I can talk to, and I feel like if I'm having a problem and I talk to them about it, they're going to help steer me in the right direction and guide me in that right direction. And those are the most important people for us. People that you're comfortable with. And one other thing I want to talk about really quick while we're talking about these godly friends and these friendships we have is that I fully believe that there is a season for friendships. And that God's going to put people into your life when you need them. And they may not be there forever. They only may be there for that season that you need them. And that relationship may change and that friendship may dissolve. But God put that person in your life while you needed them for that specific topic. And then later they may be gone, and that's okay. God's going to bring in another person that's going to be that person in your life. Or maybe it's time for you to be that person in somebody else's life. So don't get worried about friendships that, you know, dissolved and they're not like they used to be. Just think of those as seasons, and maybe you're moving to a season with a new friend, and so don't get held on to something because, you know, you used to have a friendship with somebody a long time ago or something. Let go of that tonight. And just worry about that friendships that you have now or that next friendship that's coming. So the one thing I want you to do is on your bulletin, the last point really there is, and I really want you to think about this one before you write it down. This person could be sitting right next to you. Maybe it's your brother or your sister even. I know some people don't like to think about that, but sometimes it could be your brother or your sister. But I want you to write down, who is your godly friend? Who do you think that friend is for you right now? And if you can't think of that person, maybe you just need to write praying in that line. Because you need to start praying for that person to kind of reveal themselves to you. Who is that godly person? Fill that out on your bulletin tonight so you personally know that when you leave here tonight. We're not asking you to turn that in or anything. We just want you to think about who that is, and if you can't identify that person, to start praying about that. And on your connection card inside your bulletin, there's some next steps I want you to take a quick look at. Everybody got their connection card? The first one is, it says, I will pray for my friends. That should be pretty easy. That's a pretty easy checkbox, right? That's something you should do every time you pray, is pray for your friends. Those are the easy people to pray for, is your friends. The next one is, I will be a better godly friend. And that just means you need to, you know, do a little self-check on yourself and make sure you're being a better godly friend to somebody when they need it. That you're being the right person, you're leading them down the right path, you're influencing them the right way. Can you be that better godly friend to somebody? And then like we talked about earlier, if you do not have a friendship with Jesus and you have not asked Him into your life, tonight just check that box that you will ask Jesus into your life for the first time. And when we get ready to pray, all you have to do is say, Jesus, just come into my life. I need you as my friend and as my Lord. And I just need a best friend to start with. And he will be there for you. So if you guys can go ahead and bow your head while we get ready to pray. God, thank you for tonight that we can just be here and just talk about friendships, God. As we've all had good friends and bad friends, and just trying to realize that the best friend for us may not be our closest friend or our best friend above all others, but really that person that is the best for us. And those are the people we really need to focus on in our life as our best friends, the people that are going to be there for us in the right times and influence us in the right ways. And God, tonight, as these students get ready to close out this message, God, if they have somebody on their heart, God, I just ask that they just think about them tonight during this final song and just pray about that. And God, if they need a special friend, let them just pray about that this week, God, that God will reveal that special friend to them. God, thank you for doing this youth group. In your name we pray. Amen. Come on up and worship with the band, guys.